Yeah. So in the last video, we started integrating the OpenAI with our backend here. And you can see the very first thing that we did is to accept this OpenAI API here and the configuration from OpenAI. So that's what we did in the last video. Also, we created this configuration here and created this new instance of configuration that is coming from our package OpenAI here. Another thing, we created this OpenAI variable here from the new instance of an instance of OpenAI API, and then we accepted configuration inside this here, as you can see here. So we are starting to work from here now in this route here, and then we proceed with our integration. So if you haven't liked this video, kindly like and then subscribe to this YouTube channel, because this is how you can support my channel. So right now we start looking at how we can start the integration here, or the functionality that we want in order to get our data to the OpenAI API and then getting the response. So the very first thing that we need is to accept the message that we're getting from the front end, and this one will be coming from the request.body here, as you can see here. And actually this will be from the interpolation, that is, or destructuring. Let me add this like that. So we'll be getting the message. You can call it a message, you can call it the data, you can call it whatever you want to call it. For mine, we'll call it the message. And then after that, now we can start acting, or we can now start looking at how we can interact now with this OpenAI API. So I'll just say const, because I'm referring the documentation. So the response here, and then inside I can say await, and then you can see this higher variable that we created here. We just say OpenAI, just like that, and then we'll use a function that is called create. We can create compression here. You can see it right here, and you can look at other things here, like this one: create edit, create embedding, create file, create fine tuning, create image. So you can go ahead and look at how these other functions work and why they are called like this. So I don't know even the other function what they mean, but I have only used this create compression. So you can go into the documentation and then learn more about these other functions here. So create compression, and now inside here we can start now looking at now the response that we get and what we need to configure inside here. So we need to give it an object here, and let me first of all format my code. So inside here now, the first thing that we can specify is the model that we want to use, and you can see here we have the auto compression. Let me drag this down here. We need to configure the model, and right now I'll use a model that is called text, and then Da Vinci, and then the other one now is, we can say 003, just like that. And the other thing now, the other configuration is prompt. You can see prompt here, and you can see like prompt is optional, but I will add it, and let me add it here. So I'll create this interpolation here, because this is the message that we'll be giving to the OpenAI API, that is. So you can see it here. Let me hide that. So you can see here we need to have model prompt here. The prompt now is the one that will be giving the message that we are getting from the front end. So the other thing that we need to add is max token, and we'll see the auto completion, the max token. I don't know what the max token even mean, but I'll go and check on the documentation from OpenAI. So this is we specify like 500, because I've seen that is the default one. And again, we need to configure the temperature. Even the temperature, I don't know what does that mean, but I'm using the default one here. So I'm using 500 here and 0.5 as the temperature, max tokens as a 500 here. So now after this, now we can get now the response. So to get the response here, we can say, because we need now to send the response to our front end. Now what we can say is res.json, just like that. And then after this, now inside here, we can accept the message. Let me call it the message. And then now our response will be coming from the response. Now remember, the response is this one here. So it is the response. This is the response. Okay, let me delete it like that. And then response and the response, and then data. You can see we have the auto completion and then choices. And this choices is an array. So we get the first element and then dot text, just like that. So after that, now we can start now testing our backend and see if we can get the response. But before that, I need to console log also. I'll just console log this response here. I'll just console log this. So let me copy this to there and then copy it and then paste inside here. Let me paste it there so that we can be able to see it in our terminal here. So I'll just drag it. I'll just drag up here. So, and then the other thing that you can do now is you can list other engines or the models. And to do this, you can use, let me add the code here, but I will first of all comment, because we'll be using it after we have tested this backend here. So I'll just say const and then response, and then I'll just say await, and then OpenAI, and then dot based engines, just like that. And now this one will be using it after we have tested our API if it is working or not. So I'm using that. So I think now we have the complete, or everything that we need now to start testing. So from the next video now, we start testing this backend using Postman, so that we can see if we can get the response from the OpenAI now. So I will end this video here because I don't want it to get longer than 10 minutes. So let me end here, and I'll see you in the next video.